Good afternoon. So today we're going to go through a little flexibility routine. It's all standing, so you don't even need a mat for this one. So we're just going to go through a series of exercises, hopefully to improve mobility in most of this. So to start off with, we're just going to do some knee circles or hip circles. So we're going to start by bringing one leg across in front and the other leg across in front. So we want to make sure that we're drawing nice big circles with the hips, that we're not kind of kicking round with the feet. So the movement wants to come from the hips for that rotation rather than from the feet. We also want to try not to rotate with the upper body, so we're not kind of swinging around here. So make sure we get some nice rotation through the hips. Let's do a couple more of those. Very crunchy. One more on each side. Okay, so we're going to hold one foot off the floor and just do some rotations with those ankles. So for these ones, if you feel like you need to hold on to something because you're wobbling around more than we're doing the ankles, feel free to hold on. So it changed direction there. So we just go in the other direction for those ankles. Two more on this leg. Okay, swap sides. So hold that foot up. Nice big circles there. Ooh. Mine's very clicky. And the other direction. So again, we're drawing circles with the toes. So we're trying to keep the knees still. So the movement is coming through the ankles. Two more here. Okay. So those feet slightly wider. We're going to drop the hips from side to side. So as we rock across the side, we're going to aim the pelvis down towards the ankle. So we're rotating in with the pelvis, so we feel that stretch through your inner thigh. So as we push across to the right hand side, stretch the left inner thigh by pushing the hip towards the ankle of the other side. So you can really feel that rotation on the inner thigh. We'll do two more of these on each side. This time we're going to reach across from side to side. So we're keeping the hips relatively still as we reach across here. So use a range of movement that you're comfortable with, but we are going to try and push each time, just taking those hands, fingertips a little further across. So we should feel the stretch in the backs of the legs, in the inner thighs, but also in the torso a little bit too. Reaching across there. This time as we reach across, we're going to add an external rotation. So we're going to reach across and rotate up towards the ceiling with the opposite hand. So it gives us a little bit more rotation through the upper back, and you might feel it a little bit more in your bottom as well. We'll do two more on each side. Last one. Okay, into a standing position, slow rolls down. So we're going to start by bringing the chin into the chest. One vertebrae at a time. We're going to think about rolling down through that spine, all the way down as far as we can. And slow roll up. Again, thinking about bending over one vertebrae at a time. So chin into your chest, nodding the head forwards, rounding through the upper back, rounding through the lower back, and then coming up in the same direction. Two more of these. And one more there. And take those feet slightly wider. This time I'm going to reach forwards, in between the feet and back behind the heels. So reaching forwards, reaching to the middle, reaching behind the heels. So just try and push the hips backwards a little bit. So we're engaging that stretch in the hamstrings. Again, each time we do this, we can try and increase that stretch just a little bit. One more, front, middle, and back. Next one, we're going to reach back towards the heels, reaching forwards in a deep squat. So we're going to push the hands back past the heels, then we're going to bring the hands into a forward reaching position. As we reach forwards there, we're going to drop the hips down to the heels, push the hips back up and reach back towards the heels. So use a range of movement that you're comfortable with these. Want to try and keep the heels on the floor if we can. If the heels are coming up off the floor, so as you drop down, if you need to rock it forwards onto your toes, that's fine. Or we can pop a book or a block underneath the heels if we need to. We'll do 2 more of these. I'm going to hold it at the bottom. So again, if you need to rock forwards onto your toes, that's absolutely fine. Hands on the floor, and then we're going to reach one hand towards the ceiling and the other hand. So it's actively thinking about pushing those heels down towards the floor so we increase the stretch through the legs. But we want the hips to try and stay still so the rotation is coming from the upper back. Do 2 more of these. Good. Releasing off there. Coming up into a standing position. We're going to reach across over the top. So as we push across with one hand, we're going to reach over the top of the other hand. So we imagine that we're in front of a plate of glass. We've got a plate of glass in front and behind, and we're moving in between that plate of glass rather than kind of reaching forwards. So we want to be going straight over the top. So we should feel the stretch down the outside of the torso. Again, using a range of movement that you're comfortable with. So nice big stretch. And then we're going to take that stretch in front. So we're going to push forwards with the front hand, push backwards with the back hand. So before we were working on flexion. This one we're working on rotation. So we're going to try and keep the hips facing forwards so we're not rotating through the heels. Keep the heels into the ground, hips facing forwards so we get that rotation through the middle of the body. Big push there, so we're pushing that hand away behind. So you will get a little bit of movement through your hips, but we don't want so much movement through the hips that the heels are coming off the floor. And then we'll try and keep those heels down on the ground so we get some nice rotation. Okay, release of there. Bring the hands into a forward position. We're going to take one hand and push behind and bring that hand forwards and then push around behind with the other hand. So as we push the hand round behind, squeezing the shoulder blades together. Nice rotation. A couple more of these. Keep that hand nice and still in front. Okay, some nice big rolls. I'm going to do one forwards and one backwards. Try and keep the shoulders down, away from your ears. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Roll those arms forwards and backwards. One more in each direction. One backwards. Okay, I'm going to take those hands out to the side. So we want the palms facing forwards. We're going to rotate the arms round so that the palms are facing backwards, and then rotate forwards again. So we want the rotation to be coming from the shoulder, so the elbows rotating as well as the wrists and the hands. But what we don't want is to roll forwards and backwards there. Okay, so we don't want the hands to be going behind. We're going to keep the shoulders down, but rotating from the hands through the elbows up to the shoulders. A couple more of these. You're going to bring the hands down in front with the little fingers pointing to the outside. From there, we're going to lift the little fingers up towards the ceiling as far as you can go, and then back down again. So we don't want any rotation, we don't want the hands to be coming forwards. We want the little fingers to be pointing up towards the ceiling as far as you can make it. So it probably won't be all the way up, at least I can't get it all the way up anyway. We'll do two more this way around. And then we're going to turn the hands around so the thumbs are facing up. This time we should be able to go all the way up and over your head. Do two more of these. And to finish off there, we're going to take a nice deep breath in and exhale. One more in and exhale. You know, this means the end. Big round of applause. Well done. That's how I finish all my semi-private classes. Michael always knows that's the end. Clever boy. Well done. Hope to see you again soon.